I think we are live now. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the 28th episode of Brainstorming with Brain. I know that you are very anxious about today's guest, but let me tell you that Brainstorming with Brain is a platform where I invite people from all around the world. And today's guest, she's an amazing human being. She is an occupational therapist, she is an author, researcher, coach, professor. She has many feathers in her cap. But without any further ado, I invite Dr. Chanie Messenger. But before that, let's have our intro.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm just feeling incredibly humbled and grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, you are an amazing person. I have gone through your one of your videos, and you were explaining some things. So I thought that let me share others about your work, your incredibility, your amazing human self that is within you. So what my first question would be that what made you an amazing human being? Because I have seen you that you have many feathers in your cap, and you are doing so well with uh, with research, with helping others. So, what made you an amazing human being, in a nutshell?
I think that we all are amazing human beings. And I think that when we have the ability to tap into the essence of who each and every one of us are, which is oneness, unity, and love, we're able to see that we each and every one of us has this amazingness and the oneness that is within us. And I think for me, I don't perceive myself as a human, like an amazing human. I perceive myself as an individual who is doing the best that she can to be of service, whether it is teaching at university, coaching one on one parents and kids ages 0 to 10 years old, whether it is me interacting with friends or family. I show up as best as I can, being authentic and being true to who I am. And when I'm encountered in situations in which I'm not feeling comfortable, I'll usually give that a voice or I'll walk away. And I think it's just the realization that it's taking life at one step at a time, and it's cultivating being in the present moment and being authentic. I think that's what I do the best that I can with.
No, I mean, everyone is an amazing, but understanding that you are amazing and sharing your amazingness is something that you have, and this is why you are amazing. So, why did you choose this as your profession? Because and as you are saying that you are coaching children, you are coaching parents, and there are two different things. Coaching parents is much easier. I must say that because children are someone they do not like to follow. They do not like to be someone on their feet. So how did you choose your profession, and why did you do this?
By the way, I love that your questions are displayed at the bottom of the screen. I just think that is incredible, brilliant. Just a side note. So I chose my profession when, so a little bit of a backstory. So I started college when I just turned 17 years old. I wasn't exactly sure what I was interested in doing. When I was about 17, 18 years old, I started working with a little girl who had Down syndrome. And I would take her to therapy. I would take her to speech therapy. I would take her to physical therapy, occupational therapy, as well as special instruction. And originally, I wanted to pursue nursing. I was interested in becoming a nurse, which, for those people that are watching or for anyone that is a nurse, and thank you guys for all your service and for all your work that you do, especially in healing people. some of my really good friends are nurses. In that regards, I did find out about nursing and nursing school, and what didn't really drive me, and the information that I received at the time was that you need to work, let's say, 3 hour shifts, 12 hours, 3 days a week, 3 hour shifts. And that's something that didn't resonate with me, working consistent 12 hours, 3 days a week. So I was like, this is not something that I was interested. However, I started working with a little girl at the same time, and I really just fell in love with the way she interacted with occupational therapy, the creativity, the out of the box, how she was so, so excited to see her occupational therapist. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And it's ultimately occupational therapy. When you're working with kids, it can be perceived as almost like you're playing with children. I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to be paid to be able to play with kids. And that's what something that really drew me in, that playfulness and that creative aspect, and the excitement of this little girl when she did go to occupational therapy. And when I interacted with her therapist, it was like, this is what I want to do. I want to be of service. And I always knew from the get-go that I was interested in working with kids. However, over time, I've been working as an occupational therapist for about 8 years now. And over time, I realized I really love working with kids, especially consistently for 6 years. And then over COVID, the last 2 years, I started working a lot more directly with parents. And I was seeing a lot more of a shift with the challenges that their kiddos were experiencing. I was like, I'd rather work with the parents, or I'd rather work with the teachers, because these individuals are with the children a lot more hours than a half hour twice a week that I'm with these kiddos. So I was like, why not teach the teachers? Why not teach the parents how to do occupation based skills? In addition, for me to be of service and to serve as a model, to serve as a coach, and to serve as that voice and that support for the parent or the teacher. So, what inspired me to become an occupational therapist was to be of service originally to kids, and now it's to be of service to kids and parents. And as you mentioned, it is a little bit different working with kids than it is working with parents. And sometimes kiddos can kind of be want to do their own thing and not really regards adults. However, when I'm working with kids, a lot of the times I actually find the opposite, that they're so interested in, for most of the kiddos, they want to do and they want to achieve. So I find it like very, very different. Some of the times with parents, they're a little bit uncertain, and sometimes there's a little bit of resistance with maybe with what I'm doing. And as they develop trust and as we develop rapport, it just makes what I'm doing a lot like effortless and smooth and very, very easy to do.
That's great. I can understand this because when I started meditation and working on mind science, I realized that children are very affectionate. They are very affectionate towards me. They are very kind to me. So I can feel that. I can understand that your energy is so good that people are that especially the children are attracted to you and they listen to you. So, what is mindfulness in your opinion? Because it's our topic, so I want you to speak about that. What is mindfulness? Because people sometimes they mix it with meditation. That would be my next question. But tell me, what is mindfulness?
So, simply put, mindfulness is about being in the present moment. It's about being in the right here, right now. And a simple way that I like to kind of explain mindfulness is when I'm eating, I'm eating. When I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping. When I'm talking and having a conversation with you, I'm having a conversation with you. I'm being present with that activity that it is that's at hand. That's simply put, it's about being in the right here, right now. It's being in the present moment, not what happened 5 days ago and not what will be happening tonight or later today. It's about right here, right now.
That's very easy and very understandable definition, but sometimes the experts make it very difficult that people could not understand what is mindfulness. So my next question would be related to the previous one. That is there any difference between meditation and mindfulness, or they are the same term?
Yes, so there is a difference between mindfulness and meditation. And if we look at meditation, and what does that word mean? That word means contemplation. And sometimes, in order to have a practice, typically you're going to maybe have a mindfulness meditation practice. You're going to be maybe this is like my perception and my interpretation, you are going to utilize your practice as a means to contemplate. It can be contemplation in terms of maybe you're going to connect to your breath. You're maybe going to use contemplation in terms of maybe a visualization or an affirmation. So there's different type of mindfulness practices that you can utilize to help you learn how to have a meditation, how to contemplate, how to be in the present moment. So if we're looking at the word mindfulness, it's all about being in the present. If we're looking at the word meditation, it's all about contemplation. And in order to achieve being in the present moment, you're going to most probably want to have some type of practice to teach you and to guide you and show you how to be able to be in the right here, right now.
Yeah, the speed of your answers shows that you have very much command on these topics, and that's amazing thing. So, what is mindfulness meditation in a nutshell? If we look,
I would say that mindfulness meditation is about being in the right here, right now with contemplation. With, let's say, for example, I'm, let's say, in a meditation practice. Typically, when I'm in a meditation practice, I'm sitting upright, my arms and legs are uncrossed. And the type of meditation that I practice is Vipassana meditation, which is insight meditation, and it's about connecting to the breath. So let's say I'm in a meditation, my eyes are closed, I'm connecting to my breath. Each and every time I notice a thought, I acknowledge, I don't push it away, I allow it to be. And then I realize and I remind myself to connect back to the breath. That's what mindfulness meditation is about. That's what the practice is about.
and that's a great answer. I can expect this from an expert. So, what are the benefits of mindfulness meditation?
So, if is it okay if I share a little bit of a story?
Definitely, definitely. My viewers would love to hear that from you.
Okay. So, it's going to start along the lines of a story. There once was a young girl who was about 7 years old, and she experienced a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. The anxiety was related to who's going to sit next to her on the bus, who's going to sit next to her at the lunch table, what's going to happen when her parents passes away. And as she got older, when she hit her teenage year, the anxiety just got stronger, in which it was very, very intense. Her heartbeat would go really, really fast. Her hands would get sweaty. Her thoughts would race so fast, so quickly that she didn't really have the ability to pick up what was happening and what was going on inside her mind. And she realized she's like 16, 17 years old and she's so enmeshed and caught up in anxiety. Like, how can she be living like the rest of her life, like in this way? So she tried, actually. She read different types of books. She worked with different type of coaches on cognitive behavioral therapy. She read and learned about acceptance commitment therapy. She read about didactic behavioral therapy, and all these treatment modalities for her was incredible and amazing, and it was great, and it would last a few weeks, a month, a year. And ultimately she just kept on going back into this panic state of this anxiety, thoughts racing, really sweaty, increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, pretty instantaneous and pretty quickly, even with trying these different modalities, until when she was about 21, 22 years old, there was like significant impact in her life. And that triggered her to really kind of like go to rock bottom. And she realized, and she started to being exposed to meditation, in which she really had a challenge sitting for a minute, sitting for 2 minutes. And gradually she built her way up to 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because there was this constant need for her to move and fidget her body, that she really, really struggled connecting to her breath, because there was a lot of worry thoughts. There was a lot of like even thoughts that she wasn't able to like realize that it was happening, until over time, naturally, through a consistent meditation over a year, over 2 years, she was able to take that anxiety and to utilize that as a superpower. And the person and the story and the individual I was describing was actually myself. And that's what inspired me tremendously. And one of the big benefits that mindfulness meditation had on me is anxiety, and really helping reduce and dissipate, and I was able to learn how to reframe, refocus, and use anxiety as a superpower. And I'm direct, like, living testament on the impact mindfulness meditation can have on you. And it wasn't easy, and it took quite a bit, at least a good 2-3 years, for me to really sit and to learn how to connect to my breath. And I'm just living testament of how mindfulness meditation can significantly reduce anxiety. And then you have the ability to notice it as it's coming up and to kind of just ebb and flow with that each and every time, and utilize that energy as, like, I want to write right now, I want to read right now, I'm going to go for a run right now, rather than getting caught up in that monkey mind train of thought or that sensational feelings that you do and that I do experience in my body.
That's an amazing transformational story. Amazing. It feels so good. I want to know that can you share a little bit of mindfulness meditation that our viewers can enjoy, or just they can start with? Just, I know this is a very huge topic, and no one can learn in a one day or in a session, but a little bit of that so people can understand the gist of it.
Do we is How much time do we have left?
Uh, it's up to you. I mean, people would enjoy listening to you, and I am also learning from you. Being a mind sciences expert, it's an amazing. So you can explain the way we want. I have the time.
Okay. So I think if it's okay, we can maybe do about a 15-minute practice. I'm going to do it a little bit at, like, expedited. Obviously, this is maybe not to the T how I typically would do it, but at least so that the viewers can get a taste of the type of meditation I typically like to facilitate. So, as long as everyone is not driving, whoever is watching, if you are driving, please do not participate. Or if you're operating any heavy machineries, or if you're in a situation in which you need your direct attention and focus, please do not participate in this practice right now. So, the idea would be, and we can all do an experiment before we actually go into a meditation practice. Breathing at your own pace and your own speed, not trying to change it or anything. I just want you guys to see if you can notice your breath as it enters and leaves your nostrils. Just give it a moment breathing, seeing if you're able to notice the warmth and the coolness, this area here. If you can, amazing. If you cannot, amazing too. We're not placing any judgment whether you can or cannot with it. It's just noticing. This is just one maybe focal point that you're maybe going to use during the meditation practice that we're going to do in a few moments. Now, we're going to take a breather for a moment and see if you can notice the expansion of your chest area. Are you able to notice the expansion and the contraction? This area here, just acknowledge for a moment, see if you can feel the expansion and the contraction. And if you could, great. And if you're not able to, that's great too, because we really just want to cultivate not judgment, non judgment to whether you're able to notice it or not. Then we'll take a moment, again, at your own pace, own speed, not changing your breath or anything, seeing if you're able to notice the expansion and the contraction by your belly area. Just acknowledge that for a moment. And now we're just going to take a step back, and from the three focal points, the nostrils, the chest, or the belly, where did you notice the breath? Where did you notice the strongest? Where was it the most intense? Maybe it was the nostrils, the chest, or the belly. Maybe it's a combination of the two. So maybe it was the chest and the belly. And see if you're able to notice from, let's say, if it was two areas, if there was one area that was a little bit more prominent than the other. And as we're going to go into a meditation, and this meditation will be a modified version of Vipassana, and it'll be a guided meditation. And as every time I say the word breath, as best as you can, you're going to reconnect back to that focal point, whether it was the nostrils, the chest, or the belly. And also, on the side, for maybe if there are individuals that have been meditating for a little bit, or maybe individuals that are maybe a little bit more sensitive in their body, seeing if you're able to maybe notice and connect to your heartbeat. So when I originally started meditating, I think it's about almost 10 years at this point, not a consistent practice, I would say, for about 6 years. When I first started meditating, I connected to my heartbeat. So rather than using my nostrils, my chest, or my belly, my heartbeat was really, really prevalent and prominent. So maybe for some people that are watching, just note it's not maybe the typical way of connecting back to your breath, but for you, that may be the case for now, and it may change in a few weeks, a few months, or a few years. So every time I'm going to mention the word breath as we go into a meditation, please remember that focal point. And just so you can just get an idea of the focal point, especially the chest and the belly, just FYI, so you have an idea, the chest area tends to have a smaller surface area in comparison to the belly area. So a lot of the times, if we're primarily breathing from our chest, what happens? It makes it maybe a little bit harder to get a deeper breath, to get more oxygen and blood flow throughout our body. And a lot of the times, and I know for myself, once I realized that I was being like really able to connect to my breath from my heartbeat, what happened? I realized my primary breath was from my chest, and that was a recipe for added anxiety because I wasn't getting that full benefit from the breath. So if you're noticing that your primary breathing from, maybe you're noticing that breath from the chest area, just notice that that surface area is a little bit smaller in comparison to the belly area, and then maybe sometimes that can be a trigger of feeling a little bit more anxiety a little bit quicker and a little bit faster. So just acknowledge that and notice that, and it's just really FYI for now. So as long as you guys are, any questions that are coming up?
Yeah, my community is growing and they are learning meditation. So they are curious about that, and I will let you know if there are some questions regarding that. So my next question would be, because this is a question that usually people ask to me, that can we manifest material things? Because anxiety, getting rid of anxiety, depression, stress, it's a normal thing. Like, yeah, like you can do it from by meditation or mindfulness meditation. But can we manifest desires, the material things, through mindfulness meditation?
I think that we can, and I firsthand have experienced that. I think when you're able to connect into that energy space, and when you're having a very good, positive intention, I think that we have the ability to manifest everything and anything that our heart desires. And the key is the attention, the key is the reasoning, and the key is the energy that's behind it as well. So I have a little bit of a story. It's a little bit of a materialistic story, but this was very, very early on. When I think it was a couple of years ago, I was on a flight with a friend, and we booked ear fear at two different times. And we both really, really wanted to sit next to each other. We called the flight company, and they said that the flight is completely full and that they're not able to accommodate that we're going to be able to sit next to each other. So we kind of said, okay, we left it and we let it be. When we went onto the flight, I was just like, thinking, sitting, meditating, and even before, like a few days before, just thinking and meditating, it would be really, really nice for me to be able to sit next to my friend Alexa. And I said, like, I really want to sit next to her so that we can talk, so that we can plan things, so that we can, like, just, be together. And we got on the plane, and literally someone pulled me over and they said, oh, there happened to have been business class seats that pulled up. Would you like it? I was like, sure. And there happened to be two seats. And I was like, oh, my friend and I really want to sit next to each other. Can she come and join? And she did. And I don't believe that there is coincidence. I know that I did put in the thought, and I did meditate on it, and I did contemplate on it. And my friend and I both really wanted it. And within the meditation, I said, if this is meant, please allow. And if this is going to be of greater service to her and my friend, like, allow it. And I put it out there. I meditated on it a few days before. I meditated at the airport, and then we kind of like let it be, and it did like naturally happen. And I have a few similar stories of things like happening where I was traveling and I got a little bit lost, like in this like mountain area, and an individual just like popped up and like guided the way, where I was like walking a long distance and I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get back because there wasn't that greatest service there. And then like an individual on a go-kart's like, oh, I'm heading in your direction, do you need a ride? And it's like, I always like put it out there, the intention of like safety, protection, love, and kindness. And I personally have manifested people in cars, people in boats, seats on airplanes, just by putting out the intention and knowing the reasoning behind that.
That's great. I must say that when you have a positive energy, you attract automatically attract good things, and this would be very easy thing for you. So yeah, very transformational, very inspiring. So how to improve consciousness? Because consciousness and mindfulness is something that is a little bit related, and uh, through meditation, through mindfulness, we are achieving trying to achieve consciousness. So how to improve? Because
I would
it's already there, but it's not improving.
exactly, it's already there.
That's why I said,
We all have it, and it's all there, and it's like,
yeah.
how can we improve it? How And the key with this is maybe like to say not to improve it, meaning the key is to accept and allow with where you are at with it, and to be with the as isness of where I am, because our level of consciousness is constantly shifting and changing. When we're experiencing sadness, there's a different level. When we're experiencing joy, it's another level. And there's this constant shift that we all experience on our day-to-day life, especially with situations that may arise and come up, may trigger different feelings and different emotions. So that maybe there's a little bit lower level of consciousness versus situations where there's a lot more excitement and joy and passion, then maybe it'll be a little bit higher level of consciousness. So how can we improve it? I think one of the most primal ways to do that is with mindfulness and meditation. And it's about coming home to oneself over and over again. It's discovering who I am from the inside out. I think other ways to help improve consciousness, maybe indirectly, is reading, working with a coach, connecting and being out in nature, and just contemplating like the beauty that surrounds each and every one of us in like a park, just connecting to the earth and the trees and the birds and the bees and everything in between, just cultivating that time and that space to be in nature, the time and space to exercise, the time and space to actually have a consistent mindfulness meditation practice. I think those are ways that can help improve our consciousness, and not getting attached to higher level, lower level, good, bad, the duality of it. It's just like, this is where I'm at right here, right now, and I can change that, or maybe go to a different space or a different place by discovering who I am through reading, through writing, through journaling, and maybe even through actual meditation practice.
Amazing, amazing. So you have told beautiful stories, beautiful manifesting stories. So how does your career, your help you to shape your life, shape up your personality? Because you are an amazing human being. I can assess from your talks. So how does?
Thank you. I would say my career helped shape my life by I have each and every day the ability to do what I love, to be of service to parents and kids, and to help parents have foundational skills and tools to be of service not only to their kids, but to learn to be of service to themselves. And it just brings me so much joy and so much excitement that I get to do what I love, and I get to connect with parents and kids, and I have the ability to cultivate this rippling effect into the next generation of kiddos, to be able to tap into their innate ability and skills, and so that they can, as best as they can, remain connected to their authenticity and who they are, so that they can have a path of discovery with what their heart desires within their given makeups for perceiving or pursuing their destiny. So it just brings me so much excitement of working with parents, working with kids, teaching, and just being of service for people that are interested in learning and growing, and just taking that pain and learning how to shift that into bliss, and learning how to be and accept. And that's just really what drives me. And I wouldn't be at this place without how my life would have transpired with me pursuing occupational therapy, then pursuing my doctorate, and then COVID, and then working online. And it just allowed me to further tap into what I like and what I want, which is working remotely with parents, with kids, teaching at university and teaching occupational therapy students, teaching other future educators how to be of service to parents and to kids. And that's like a trickling theme with everything and anything, which I just noticed the other day. It's parents and kids. And it's all about connection. It's all about love and unity and oneness, while cultivating acceptance to where the parent is at, and helping them tap into skill based activities that can help with everything and anything, especially with their child's life.
That's good. I can assess that you have the ability, great ability of giving, and that's why, because people who hold things, hold emotions, hold things, hold everything that has been gifted by the divine, they did not achieve their north star, their their success in their life. So you are someone who have the natural ability of giving, and that's why you are here. That's why you are helping others. That's why you are an amazing human being. So my next question would be that how to learn, unlearn, and relearn, because this is a phenomena that we have been going through for nowadays very rapidly, because technology has been changing. Every day we have to learn new things and unlearn the old things and relearn, and this is a process. So how one can do it?
I would say it's the realization of that we've all been conditioned, and the older we are, the more conditioning typically we may have. And I learned this from Dr. Shafali Tabari, who is a parenting expert. She's a New York Times bestselling author, I think on 4 books. And one of the things is deconstruction. Looking at my beliefs, I'm looking at activities or things that I've learned, and I need to break that down and see, where did it come from? And not even really, where did it come from? What is the belief, and how can I break it down and put it into small little pieces in order to be able to perceive it maybe in a different way? And one way that has really helped me tremendously to deconstruct is meditation. It's learning who I am from the inside out. And a lot of the times, thoughts or feelings might be popping up, and then it offers that opportunity to take that step back and to reframe, refocus, and to see what has happened. So I think one way to learn, unlearn, and relearn is through mindfulness meditation. I think that's one thing. I think another thing is reading, and really just reading books of topic of interest, hearing and speaking with teachers and coaches and mentors, listening to different podcasts will offer that opportunity for that shifting as well. And I think a big key with it is journaling. Journaling, what is some things that I learned that I'm maybe not too keen about? How can I maybe figure out? I don't think we can ever unlearn something. I think we can shift it and we can reframe it and use it as almost like a superpower of like, how can I use this in a better way or in a greater way so that I'm better of service to myself or to other people as well with it.
That's an amazing answer. Very detailed, but very brief and to the point. So,
Think
uh, in your whole life, who is your inspiration? I mean, who do you inspire? So, because
there's there's a few
yeah,
inspirations. When I mentioned Dr. Shafali Tabari, she's just an incredible and amazing human, and she's helped me since my mid 20, almost early 20s. And she's just really incredible. There's Susie Lula, who's created the Motherhood Evolution, even though I'm not a parent yet. Her big emphasis of her teaching and her work is all about self-care and the importance of taking care of oneself first. And then another inspiration is Janet Philberg. I think that I may have mispronounced her name. Sorry. She had a really big impact on my life, in which I was exposed to hypnotherapy. I think it was in my mid 20s, and that allowed me to tap further into anxiety and to sadness, and that helped me really shift that. In addition to utilizing mindfulness meditation, and some other like inspirations are Oprah. I just think that she is just an incredible, amazing human being. And she just offers so much wisdom, like globally, like all over the world. And I know she's like an icon, like all over the world, and she's just so incredible with the work and the service of how she supports people, all different backgrounds, and she's just very, very amazing and incredible. Other individuals is Mohammed Gandhi, and just really just peace, love, and unity. Another individual is Buddha and Jesus, which I don't think people would typically say, but it's just the just utilizing, like, again, this oneness and this unity and this interconnection. I just find it so incredible and so powerful. So I think I have a few inspirations. I think that was like 6 or 8. It's not just one. It
Yeah.
primarily at one point was 1 or 2, and then over time it just morphed, and I have this like almost this like boardroom of these individuals that if I'm like in a stressful state, it's like, okay, what would Dr. Shafali say? Okay, what would maybe Buddha say? And it's just like this space of like shifting that mindset of like, what would someone else do? What would someone else say? Especially when I'm like really, really stressed or really, really uncertain. It just gives me that opportunity.
So let me tell you that Muhammad Ali Jinnah is someone else and Gandhi is someone else. They are two different individuals. But always say to the people that make your child introduced to the meditation and mindfulness in the early ages so that they can see the beautiful human beings, they can see the beautiful future self of their children. So if you, so I now I can say that you are the example of that, that you have been introduced. I mean, perhaps what was the matter, what was the thing, I don't know, but you have been introduced to meditation and mindfulness and the amazing teacher you have mentioned in the early 20s, in the teenagers. That's why you are so amazing. Yes, that's why you have giving nature, and that's why you become an amazing human being. So this is very important that parents should install meditation into their children at their early ages. So uh, moving towards the wrap up thing, so how can we help you?
Thank you. I published a children's book entitled Breathe, Breathe, Breathe for those people, and exactly with what you're saying, are interested in starting to teach their young ones, I would say from 2 maybe till 11 years old. I did publish a book called Breathe, 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 and feel free to purchase it on my website at chaniemessinger.com. I also have a private online coaching business in which I work with parents and kids ages 0 to about 10 years old. And I teach parents how to want to be around their kids. I teach parents how to reduce meltdowns. I teach parents how to help their child eat better, sleep better, and in order to help the child be who they're truly meant to be with love, kindness, and acceptance. So, for people that are interested, I am offering a free exploratory call. So, people can feel free to find me on Facebook, Chanie Messinger, or they can find me at my email, which is CHANIEMESS at yahoo.com. And I'm just feeling incredibly humbled and really grateful to have this opportunity this morning. And just thank you so, so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for your amazing words, and they are inspiring words. They are transformational words for me and for my audience as well. So, at the end of the interview session, your golden words.
So, right now, I'm going through a shift with my work and with how I'm teaching things. And the idea I think that people can maybe take away from this, when you're going through a shift in your life, it can be very easy to get caught up with anxiety and maybe sadness, like it should be or it needs to be, and it's not working. And it can be very, very frustrating with when things aren't really manifesting how you want it to be. And it's the importance of to know exactly where you are in your life, whether you're 10, 15, 30, 55. It's exactly where you're meant to be. You're doing the best that you can, and keep at it. Keep doing it. If it's something that you're love and enjoying, don't stop. Even if there is humps and bumps in the road, just keep at it and keep pursuing and know that you can do it. And if you were meant to be at a certain place, you would be. And if you're not there, that's okay. It's accepting where you are right here, right now, and just doing the best that you can. And do not give up. Keep going and keep pursuing.
With that beautiful message and our beautiful guest, sign out from today's 28th episode of Brainstorming with Braid, and we will meet you people with the next and amazing guest. So, bye bye.